What if you are not late? What if life delayed you because the version of you that wanted success was not strong enough to survive it? Maybe the doors did not close to punish you. Maybe they closed because you were still too easy to break, too hungry for approval, too distracted by comparison, and too unaware of your own power. The world calls it late blooming. But sometimes, late blooming is life's way of making sure you do not receive your blessing before you become the person who can carry it. What if the reason you feel late is not because life forgot you, but because life refused to let you become successful before you became strong enough to survive success? Look at that carefully. Many people bloom early, but they bloom before they understand their roots. They are praised before they have patience. They are seen before they know themselves. They receive applause before they have discipline. And because the world celebrates the flower and ignores the root, they begin to believe the flower is everything. Then the wind comes, pressure comes, loss comes, rejection comes, temptation comes, and the same person who looked powerful in the sun begins to break in the storm. You are not late simply because others were seen before you. You may be late only according to the clock of comparison. And comparison is a cruel teacher. It shows you another person's harvest, but hides their winter. It shows you their result, but hides their price. It shows you their celebration, but hides the weight they carry when the door closes and no one is watching. You look at a life from a distance and then punish yourself with an image you do not fully understand. This is how people destroy their peace. They do not suffer only because they lack success. They suffer because they keep measuring their season against someone else's season. They look at another person's spring while standing inside their own winter. And instead of preparing the soil, they curse the snow. But winter is not failure. Winter is instruction. Winter teaches the tree to send its strength downward. Winter teaches patience. Winter removes what is weak. Winter makes the living thing quiet enough to survive. If you only respect the season that produces flowers, then you will hate the season that produces roots. And if you hate the root season, you will never understand why your life is taking longer. Maybe your life is not slow because you are unlucky. Maybe your life is slow because what is being built inside you is heavier than what you first imagined. A small life can be rushed. A shallow identity can be formed quickly. A performance can be created in a moment. But a person of depth, discipline, wisdom, and inner strength cannot be manufactured overnight. That kind of person is carved. That kind of person is tested. That kind of person is delayed long enough to meet the parts of themselves they would rather avoid. This is why late blooming may be a gift. It forces you to become real before you become visible. It forces you to question whether you want purpose or only attention. It forces you to ask whether your dream is truly yours or only borrowed from the noise around you. It forces you to sit with envy, insecurity, impatience, shame, and fear until you stop being controlled by them. It forces you to stop pretending that the problem is always timing and begin asking whether your habits are worthy of the future you keep praying for. This is not comfortable. But growth was never meant to flatter you. Growth exposes you. Growth shows you where your discipline is weak. Growth shows you where your ego is loud. Growth shows you where you speak about change but choose comfort. Growth shows you where you blame delay when the deeper truth is that you have not yet become consistent enough to hold the life you desire. Do not misunderstand this. You are not behind because you are worthless, but you may be behind because you are still negotiating with weakness. That is the part most people do not want to hear. They want to be told that everything is divine timing, that their moment will arrive, that they should simply trust the process. There is truth in trust, but there is danger in using trust as a hiding place. A seed must trust the season, yes, but the seed must still split open. It must still break its old form. It must still push through darkness. It must still do the work of becoming. So ask yourself with honesty, are you blooming late because life is preparing you, or are you delaying yourself because your habits are soft? Both can be true. Life may be shaping you, and you may still be wasting time. Life may have a deeper rhythm, and you may still be scattering your attention. Life may be protecting you from premature success, and you may still be refusing to build the discipline required for real success. A wise person can hold both truths without running. You are not late in the deepest sense, but you also cannot afford to keep sleeping. The world has made speed into a god. It tells you to achieve early, become rich early, become famous early, find love early, build everything early, display everything early. But when a human life is forced to move only by speed, the soul becomes thin. People begin to chase outcomes they are not ready to carry. They enter relationships before they know how to love. They chase money before they know how to master desire. They chase status before they know how to master pride. They chase attention before they know how to sit alone. And then they wonder why the achievement feels empty. Early is not always blessed. Sometimes early is dangerous. Sometimes early gives you what your character cannot yet protect. Sometimes early places you in rooms where your insecurity will choose for you. Sometimes early success feeds the very ego that needed to be broken. Sometimes early praise teaches you to perform instead of become delay. When used properly, can save you from all of this. Delay can make you sober. Delay can make you observant. Delay can make you humble. Delay can teach you who truly stands with you. Delay can reveal which dreams were planted by your soul and which were planted by society. Delay can remove false friends, false desires, false urgency, and false confidence. But delay only becomes wisdom if you stop complaining long enough to learn from it. If you spend your slow season comparing, you will become bitter. If you spend it escaping, you will become weaker. If you spend it blaming, you will become trapped. But if you spend it training, studying, healing, building, correcting, and refining, then the same delay that once felt like punishment becomes the foundation of your power. This is the difference between waiting and preparing. Waiting is passive. Preparing is sacred. Waiting says, when my time comes, I will change. Preparing says, I will change before my time comes. So when the door opens, I do not enter as the wrong person. Waiting watches other people live. Preparing builds quietly. Waiting scrolls, complains, dreams and delays. Preparing wakes up and keeps one promise, then another, then another. Do not call yourself a late bloomer if you are simply avoiding the work. That is not late blooming. That is self-deception. A late bloomer is not someone who sits in the dark, hoping the sun will do everything. A late bloomer is someone who uses the dark to grow roots. And roots are not glamorous. No one praises roots. No one photographs roots. No one applauds the soil. But without roots, the flower is only decoration. It may impress for a moment, but it cannot endure. You must decide what you want to be. A flower that is admired for a season, or a tree that remains through storms. If your answer is the tree, then stop resenting the time it takes. Strength takes time. Skill takes time. Wisdom takes time. Emotional control takes time. Real confidence takes time. A clean character takes time. A peaceful mind takes time. The ability to succeed without becoming arrogant takes time. The ability to love without losing yourself takes time. The ability to receive blessings without being possessed by them takes time. You want the result quickly because your ego is tired of feeling unseen. But the unseen place may be the safest place for your growth. When you are unseen, you can practice without performance. You can fail without becoming a public example. You can rebuild without explaining yourself. You can experiment, correct, simplify, and mature without the pressure of thousands of opinions. You can learn who you are without needing applause to confirm it. This is a privilege, but most people waste it. They spend the unseen season feeling sorry for themselves. They stare at the lives of others and call it research. They replay old disappointments and call it reflection. They imagine future success and call it preparation. But nothing changes because imagination without discipline is only a beautiful prison. You must become dangerous to your excuses. Not angry, not chaotic, dangerous. Dangerous in the sense that your old patterns can no longer negotiate with you. Dangerous in the sense that comfort can no longer command you. Dangerous in the sense that envy can no longer steal your focus. Dangerous in the sense that fear can no longer sit in the throne of your decisions. If you are blooming late, your energy matters more now. You cannot leak your strength into every distraction. You cannot keep giving your best attention to people who have no respect for your growth. You cannot build a serious life while feeding a careless mind. You cannot become disciplined while still treating your phone, your mood, your cravings, and your excuses as masters. There comes a point where you must stop asking why your life has not changed and start studying what you repeat. Your repetitions are your real prayers, not the words you say. The actions you return to. If you repeat comparison, you are praying for misery. If you repeat distraction, you are praying for weakness. If you repeat discipline, you are praying for strength. If you repeat courage, you are praying for freedom. If you repeat honesty, you are praying for clarity. Every day, you are voting for a future. Do not be shocked by the life that wins. The late bloomer must respect the day. Not the fantasy of the future, not the pain of the past, but the day, this day, the hour in front of you, the task in front of you, the conversation you avoid, the habit you keep delaying, the promise you keep breaking. Great transformation is not built in dramatic moments. It is built in ordinary moments when you choose the harder right thing over the easier wrong thing. You choose to train when no one cares. You choose to study when no one checks. You choose silence when your ego wants to explain. You choose patience when your mind wants to panic. You choose focus when the world offers noise. You choose humility when success begins to touch your life. These choices look small, but they are not small. They are roots, and roots decide everything. Many people want to bloom because they want to be seen. But being seen is not the same as being ready. The world can see you before you have learned how to stand. People can admire you before you have learned how to be honest. Attention can find you before you have learned how to protect your peace. That is not a blessing. That is exposure. A late bloomer has the chance to become private enough to become powerful. Use it. Stop announcing every change. Stop asking for recognition for every effort. Stop explaining your growth to people who are not committed to their own. Stop looking for witnesses to prove that you are becoming. The deepest work does not need an audience. A tree grows silently. The sun does not need applause to rise. The river does not explain its direction to every stone. Why do you? You waste too much energy trying to be understood by people who are committed to misunderstanding you, or worse, people who are not even paying attention. This is childish. It is also expensive. Every explanation you give to the wrong person drains energy from the right work. Let them think you are late. Let them think you are quiet. Let them think nothing is happening. Your task is not to correct their perception. Your task is to correct your life. This is the discipline of the late bloomer. Silence without passivity, patience without laziness, faith without fantasy, ambition without desperation. You do not rush, but you do not sleep. You do not panic, but you do not drift. You do not compare, but you do not make excuses. You accept your season, but you still work inside it. That balance is maturity. Some people think acceptance means weakness. They are wrong. Acceptance means you stop wasting energy fighting reality. If you are 30 and starting again, then you are 30 and starting again. If you are 40 and rebuilding, then you are 40 and rebuilding. If you are older than you wanted to be, then you are older than you wanted to be. Reality does not become kinder because you resist it. It only becomes heavier. Accept where you are, then move. This is how dignity returns. Dignity does not return when everyone claps for you. Dignity returns when you stop betraying yourself in private. Dignity returns when your actions and your words begin to match. Dignity returns when you no longer need the world to call you worthy. Before you act like your life has value. Late bloomers often carry shame, quiet shame, hidden shame. They may smile, work, speak normally, and still carry a silent question. Did I waste my chance? This question can become poison if you let it. It can make you passive, defensive, jealous, and afraid to try. But if you face it directly, it can become fuel. Maybe you did waste time. Say it plainly. Maybe you made weak choices. Maybe you ignored signs. Maybe you stayed too long in the wrong place. Maybe you trusted people who were never aligned with your future. Maybe you spent years distracted. Maybe you knew what to do and still did not do it. Good. Now the lie is gone. Once the lie is gone, power can return. Shame keeps you frozen when you use it to attack yourself. But honesty makes you move when you use it to correct yourself. Do not turn your past into a weapon against your future. Turn it into instruction. The past says, do not waste another season. The past says, you know what distraction costs. The past says, you know what self-betrayal feels like. The past says, choose differently now. That is all. Do not build a temple for regret. Learn the lesson and walk. There is a reason late bloomers often become deeper human beings. They have had time to lose illusions. They have learned that not everyone who smiles is loyal. They have learned that talent without discipline becomes frustration. They have learned that intelligence without consistency becomes wasted potential. They have learned that love without self-respect becomes dependency. They have learned that success without inner peace is only another form of hunger. This depth becomes their advantage. A shallow person rushes toward anything that looks like victory. A deeper person asks, will this cost me my soul? A shallow person is easily flattered. A deeper person studies motives. A shallow person needs constant validation. A deeper person can move without noise. A shallow person confuses speed with progress. A deeper person knows that wrong direction at high speed is still destruction. If life has made you slower, let it also make you wiser. Do not waste pain by becoming bitter. Bitterness is pain without transformation. Wisdom is pain that has been digested. Digest your pain. Do not keep chewing the same old story. Do not keep telling yourself who hurt you, who rejected you, who underestimated you, who left, who laughed, who did not support you. These things may be true, but if you keep repeating them without changing, truth becomes a cage. At some point, the question is no longer what happened to you. The question becomes what you are building with what remains. And something remains. Breath remains. Attention remains. Choice remains. A body remains. A mind remains. A day remains. The ability to begin again remains. Do not insult what remains by worshipping what was lost. Late blooming is not about pretending the delay did not hurt. It did hurt. It may have humiliated you. It may have made you doubt your intelligence, your beauty, your value, your path, your purpose. It may have made you feel invisible in rooms where you wanted to be chosen. It may have forced you to watch others receive what you silently prayed for. Acknowledge the pain. Then stop kneeling before it. Pain is a teacher, not a king. Let it teach, then move. The mistake many people make is that they wait for pain to disappear before they act. They wait for confidence. They wait for clarity. They wait for perfect conditions. But the person you are becoming is not waiting on the other side of comfort. That person is formed while your hands are still shaking. Begin while uncertain. Train while tired. Study while insecure. Build while unseen. Dali while afraid. Speak the truth while your voice trembles. This is how strength is born. Not through perfect feelings, but through faithful action. You do not need to feel ready to start becoming ready. Write that again in your mind slowly. You do not need to feel ready to start becoming ready. Many late bloomers are waiting for an emotional permission slip that will never arrive. They think one day they will wake up confident, clear, energized, and fearless. This is fantasy. Confidence is not a gift that arrives before action. Confidence is often the child of action. You act, you survive, you learn, you correct, you act again. Slowly, your mind begins to trust you. That trust is confidence, not noise, not arrogance, not performance. Trust. And trust is built through kept promises. If you want to bloom, start by becoming a person who can trust themselves. Keep one promise today, not 10. One. Make it small enough that excuses look foolish. Then keep it tomorrow. Then the next day. This is how the broken foundation is repaired. A person who cannot keep small promises should not demand a large destiny. This is harsh, but it is fair. You cannot ask life for a mountain if you refuse to carry a stone. Carry the stone, do the small task well. Clean the room, finish the page, make the call, save the money, train the body, eat with respect, sleep with discipline, speak less, listen more, study the skill, complete the work, apologize where needed, leave where necessary, return to the practice. The bloom is hidden inside these ordinary acts. The world will not understand this because the world loves spectacle. It wants dramatic transformations, sudden success, overnight fame, loud announcements, visible proof. But the soul is not shaped by spectacle. It is shaped by repetition. You do not become deep through one intense moment. You become deep through daily returns. Return to your breath when anxiety rises. Return to your discipline when motivation fades. Return to your values when temptation appears. Return to your path when comparison distracts you. Return to silence when your ego wants to perform again and again. This is the way. The late bloomer must also learn to release resentment toward those who bloomed earlier. Their early bloom is not an attack on you. Their success is not a theft from you. Their timing is not proof that you are forgotten. When you turn other people's progress into evidence against yourself, you poison your own spirit. Celebrate what is good without abandoning yourself. This is maturity. If you cannot look at another person's success without shrinking, then your ego still controls you. Train that. When envy appears, do not pretend it is not there. Look at it. Ask what it is showing you. Sometimes envy reveals desire. Sometimes it reveals insecurity. Sometimes it reveals laziness. Sometimes it reveals that you want the fruit without respecting the labor. Use envy as a mirror, not a master. Let it show you where you need to grow. Then return to your work. Your work may not look impressive today. Good. Most real work does not. A foundation looks like nothing until the building rises. A root looks like nothing until the tree stands. A practice looks like nothing until mastery appears. Do not despise work because it does not yet look like glory. Glory is often just discipline after time has passed. Time will pass anyway. This should wake you up. The years you fear will pass whether you build or whether you drift. You can arrive 5 years from now with roots, skills, strength, peace, and direction. Or you can arrive 5 years from now with the same excuses, the same jealousy, the same unfinished promises, and the same quiet regret. Time is not waiting for your readiness, so choose. The late bloomer who chooses becomes formidable because once they awaken, they do not waste energy on shallow games. They have already lost enough time to know the cost of distraction. They have already felt enough shame to know the value of discipline. They have already been unseen long enough to stop depending on applause. When such a person begins to move, there is a different quality in them. They are not moving to impress. They are moving because something inside has become non-negotiable. This is the turning point, not